Hi, I'm Adele, and this is Doug, and we're here to talk about contemplative prayer. That may make some of you feel like, I want to get out of here, and we hope we can talk about this in a way that it might be invitational for you. Doug, I know you've had resistances at times to contemplative prayer, or maybe just not understanding what it is. What is it, and what has it meant to you?
Well, contemplative prayer is one of those prayers that I think a fair number of people, particularly guys, just don't often warm to. In the practice of contemplative prayer, you appear to be doing nothing and saying nothing. So you're like, what's this supposed to be? You know, most
Just
prayers,
wasting time?
Yeah. Most prayers are, okay, I prayed and I'm done and I've said my stuff, or I've praised God, but and then I'm done and I can feel like I got something done. In contemplative prayer, not so much.
Because it's about listening.
It's about listening, and I think we're not always very good about listening. And so contemplative prayer is linked to silence, typically, and it can be a very quiet posture, or you can do contemplative prayer while you're walking, or sometimes even running. But the main features are we're trying to place ourselves in the presence of God. And you might think, well, I'm not really that close to God. And the good news is that really doesn't matter, because God dwells in you and in me. And so we don't have to go anywhere to get to the presence of God. It's actually getting in touch with the presence of God. So it's being quiet, so it's no activity in that sense. So it's passive, but then it's very active in that you're supposed to be listening. And you know what it's like when you're actually listening to somebody. You may be saying nothing and doing nothing, but it takes a pretty fair amount of alertness to, did I really hear that right? Or did she say something? Is that different breathing because she's anxious? So you're paying attention to God. And that also means that you're trying to quiet your mind enough to hear. And I think when I've tried to do contemplative prayer, I think even the first number of times, whatever time I allot, I feel like I'm wrestling with every beast in my head most of the time.
Yeah, I think that there is, when you're beginning contemplative prayer, the sense of, am I doing it right? Because nothing's happening. And when, in most prayers, we're talking to God, or talking at God, or saying something to God to try and get God to do something. And so here, when I'm trying to open myself to God, and the thoughts are coming fast, I try to let all those thoughts, just not attach to them, let them go down the river. Or you know what it's like to be doing work and you hear voices outside, just doing, and you're not focused on them. So any thought that comes through my mind, rather than focusing on it, I say a word like Jesus, and I return to you. What do you say?
Yeah, I actually use Jesus or Abba for Father, or Spirit. I try to actually just use a word about God, and it could be in the season that I'm at. Some of the other images of God, like Shepherd or Lord, are important. Comforter, whatever. Sometimes it just depends on where I am. But the invitation is that, and the thing that's hard to believe is, I'm actually communing with God even though I don't sense anything. It's not a sensate prayer particularly, and that can be hard. And so the invitation is to be quiet and wait upon God in such a way that you're calming. And here's the thing, it's a little bit like an investment as opposed to a quick payoff. This isn't a cash withdrawal from the bank. At the ATM. This is putting money in the bank, and it starts to pay off over time, because there begins to be this centeredness in our soul and being known that we're loved and cared for that lasts on beyond.
It's like Psalm 131, like a weaned child with its mother, a child that doesn't want anything but to be in the lap of the mother. It's that sort of nearness to God and just waiting.
Mm-hmm. I hope you'll tune in next week. We're going to have an example from one of the brothers in the church who's been practicing contemplative prayer and what it has meant over time in his journey with Christ. God be with you and bless you.